Hello and welcome to another Source Gaming discussion. I'm your host NantenJex, and joining me today is Spazzy D.
Hey guys.
Cody.
Hello.
And ShadowLink.
Yo, what's up?
So, we have come together to talk about the 5th Fighter Pass character. Now that Terry is out, we've only got one more as part of this set, one more that's going to be coming before February 2020, and we really don't know anything about them. No one seems to know. There aren't really any prominent leaks about who they could be. There are a lot of people talking about, who they might not be, or because of X, Y, and Z, this character might not happen, but nothing's really confirmed, and there's so many flying about from people that who knows if any of it are true, if anyone really knows anything. And so because of that, I thought it's free season. It can be anyone we want it to be, so why don't we give our thoughts on who we think it's going to be. Going to do it in a sort of similar format to the recent Game Explain video that did it as well. Beat us to the punch with this, but I really enjoyed the way they laid it out, so I'm going to borrow it. And we're going to talk about the character who is like a pipe dream one who we really want, and then we're going to talk about a character who we think is more likely. And let's just get right on with it. And I think I want you to start, Spazzy, so why don't you tell me who your pipe dream character is for this?
So this can be anybody. It doesn't have to be somebody I think is realistic. Just be anything, really.
Yeah, can be anything you want. I mean, keep it. You could attempt to keep it realistic or not. It's entirely up to you.
Well, let's just keep in mind this is a lot of power, because when a character gets into Smash, it's part of the cultural zeitgeist. People start talking about it again. People want new games in the series. All of a sudden, everybody's buying all the SNK arcade games on Switch, which are on sale for 50% off right now. So I'm going to go ahead and say Gex the Gecko, because it would validate all of our maiming. Jex.
It would. I mean,
put us way ahead of the curve.
I feel like everyone was expecting me to say that. Now I got to think of a new one.
Oh, damn! Sorry. Oh, wait. I can do somebody else.
No. Do it.
Okay. You got one? Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Don't worry.
Honestly, though, it kind of lends to the fact that, Sakurai says it's about a character being fun, not recognizable. Mm-hmm. And I honestly have enough faith in the team to make a fun character out of anybody. So why not Gex the Gecko?
No, it's true. I mean,
why not?
Gex is a character who's not entirely dead, because Square Enix has gone on record to say if an indie team comes along and wants to make a Gex game, they can do. It was one of the Square Enix IPs that were listed as part of the Square Enix Collective. Is that what they're called?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So Square are open to the idea of new games if people want to do them, but for some reason nobody has.
It's so weird.
And we're in the 3D platform renaissance right now. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but seriously, Parappa the Rapper, and I'm not explaining it. Go, next person!
So, yeah, go on, Cody. Why don't you go next?
All right. Well, my pipe dream character this is a little bit sad to think about even, but Karate Joe. The fact that he's a pipe dream character just seems sad to me. But Karate Joe from Rhythm Heaven, the series, I really love Rhythm Heaven, and I'm so sad that there has not been a decent... I don't know why Chibi Robo has more representation than Rhythm Heaven does. But
I mean, at least Rhythm Heaven has songs, I suppose. Chibi Robo doesn't have that.
Yeah, that's true. It has 3 in a series about music. Oh well. Yeah, Karate Joe, especially because of the old chorus. I genuinely believe the old Gamatsu leak back in Smash 4, which kind of said that, Crom and the Chorus Kids and a bunch of other characters who actually did get into the game got in. And Crom was said to be a prototype. I think the Chorus Kids were probably a legit thing at some point, and eventually got cut.
Yeah, well, they have emblem data in the game's files.
Yes, that's right.
We found, so
yeah,
there was at some point planned.
Smash Run.
Yeah,
that
Sneaky
too.
Ghost.
When I saw that, I think it was just in the background of a trailer that they released, I totally thought it was going to happen, and I was so disappointed when it wasn't. I really would like a Rhythm Heaven representative, even if it's not Karate Joe. Just anybody, please.
Yeah, why Karate Joe exactly over like the Chorus Kids or Marshall or Tippy?
Yeah. So I think Karate Joe has just been in every game, and he's been sort of the. He's not the mascot, obviously, because they've had Marshall and Tippy and the Chorus Kids before, but he's always been a constant in the series, and I think his game's just a very recognizable one in it too. So I think he'd be easy to make a fighting game character if you just mix the karate mechanics and the rhythm mechanics.
Yeah, basically Ryu, but with like a timed beat. And
and I'm sure they could probably incorporate some Mr. Game & Watch type stuff, bring in some other games in the Rhythm Heaven series too for his special moves or something like that. So I think it would be a really fun representation of Rhythm Heaven too.
Yeah, no, it'd be good. Like I like the idea of representing the whole Rhythm Heaven series. Like, I almost want to, like, if you just have a character, like, you know how Duck Hunt is just Duck Hunt. You just had a character that was Rhythm Heaven.
Something like that, that would be great.
Move brings something new in from one of the others.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah. But what about you, ShadowLink? What's your pipe dream wish?
I would like Dane, the titular character from the 2018 smash hit Square Enix's magnum opus, The Quiet Man.
He would be perfect. Halfway through.
He would be phenomenal. He has the power to slow down time. He has grapple moves. He can parry. He can activate his super quiet man mode and become invincible and destroy everything. And it touched me on such an emotional level that I can't think of anyone but Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. Travis is like one of those characters that seems like a natural fit for Smash, but would probably not get in because of just the niche nature of the series. Like, I know Bayonetta is in Smash because Nintendo basically owns the rights to the IP, so they want to promote it however they possibly can. But, like, No More Heroes is so closely, like, connected to Nintendo, and Suda, like, actively, like, requests Travis Touchdown to be in Smash every single time he meets up with Masahiro Sakurai. So, like, throw him a bone. I mean, he's done a lot. He's a good boy.
But Sakurai did say recently that your character doesn't need to be relevant as long as they're fun. So surely that's a big prop up for Travis.
He's relevant now.
I mean, that is true. Yeah,
I think they need either history or popularity. I don't think there is. I don't think the as long as they're fun really matters. Because we have a character with no history that's there because they're popular and because Sakurai likes them. It's Joker from Persona 5. I'm gonna get shot by Persona fans.
Oh no!
But hey,
can I change my vote to a Warcraft character? I've got a lot of characters.
We have Corrin.
No, Spazzy, it's too late.
Okay, there's a third. Like qualification
besides
to be a Smash character, and that's if you can promote a current product.
No More Heroes?
Yeah, No More Heroes 3. Though,
yeah, No More Heroes 3. So that's Travis's only in.
I mean, it's coming at the right time to be.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's not if it's Fighter Pass 5.
Yeah.
Well,
because then
sure. That's a pipe.
But
dream.
maybe
I can see Travis later down the line if Nintendo really wants to promote No More Heroes 3, if it stays a console exclusive and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I reckon they could do. I feel like No More Heroes has kind of been almost like the Bayonetta of the Switch. I mean, remember Bayonetta 2 was announced very early on the Wii U and was this big thing, and then we got Travis Strikes Again was announced really early on with No More Heroes 3. The only difference is Nintendo have really no publishing involvement in the series, whereas they obviously did for Bayonetta 2.
It's the Bayonetta of the Wii.
Yeah. But it could happen. I mean, Suda was also talking recently about remaking the first 2 games for Switch, or at least re-releasing them. Yeah.
Oh, please.
That would be really good. You could play No More Heroes 1 and listen to the soundtrack of No More Heroes 2.
But I don't want to do the driving segments of No More Heroes 1.
It's okay.
Because
I don't think anyone really likes them.
Add a mini-map or something, come on. Or not mini-map, the ability to warp.
There is the ability to walk and run. It's just like you
warp,
have to unlock the ability to run. I mean, you can walk all the way if you want to.
No, warp. I want to warp places.
Warp. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quick travel to locations and not ride my motorbike or walk.
No, you see, going to the ATM to deposit money and then going back to the hotel is part of the experience.
This isn't Deadly Premonitions, all right? This is meant to be my action slasher game.
No More Heroes is like an auteur game. It's a whole thing.
Alright, well, let's go on to my pick, which obviously can't be Gex. So my pipe dream character is one that I've talked about a whole bunch of times. And it's been on my predictions list for ages, even though I've always kind of seen it as a pipe dream. And that's kos-mos from Xenogears. Because, she would work really well in Smash as being this, android-esque fighter with big mechs for final smashes and the big laser Gatling gun thing she's got. And, she's got that Nintendo connection through Monolith Soft being in Xenoblade 2. And she's kind of the Monolith's mascot, even if she is owned by Bandai Namco.
Yeah, I don't think she's as unlikely as you saying this is my pipe dream implies. I mean, I don't think she's super likely, but Namco liked using her back when they had full control of her. Monolith Soft still loves that character. They're an important studio for Nintendo. Sakurai said, "Hey, it's about." It's not necessarily about being recognizable. Mm-hmm. It's, about having a fun character. And she would be a fun character that is still somewhat recognizable and has some historical video game presence. So I could see it happening, actually. Also, she would be awesome. I'd be very happy.
Yeah, she would be. I just feel like there's too many characters ahead of her. Or that should probably get into Smash before. I know it's not really a privileged thing where you have to have all of this legacies and all this there's no reason that Crash Bandicoot should be more likely as an example than kos-mos, but it feels like he is, and kos-mos feels like a Terry-esque character but without the legacy that Terry actually has.
Right. And it's also because there's two kind of forms of competition. Other Namco reps and other kind of platforming mascots and not platforming mascots, sorry,
RPG
and other RPG.
Sorry,
I was getting ahead in my thoughts to other things we're talking about. Sorry, but other Namco characters and other JRPG characters, and there's bigger in both of those things.
There's
and I mean, if you really wanted to go all that, more Xenoblade characters and more space-faring characters as well. More sci-fi-esque characters.
Yeah.
Because so far, the DLC has done a good job of differentiating itself thematically. You've got, a cartoony mascot character, an anime-esque thief, a traditional RPG hero, and now, a street brawler. Four of them are
three anime characters and one cartoony mascot.
So... I feel like... Well, I mean...
Not wrong.
Yeah. To be fair, that's probably more in kos-mos' favour, I suppose, then, because she's definitely, not one of those four things I just mentioned. but she still seems unlikely to me. As much as I put her on my predictions list, and I always include her in my stuff because she's not impossible, I still don't see it happening as much as I'd want to. She really felt like she would have been the surprise 4th pick that Terry ended up being, as opposed to being the final pick.
Right, yeah. I mean, there's no reason to say that this will end on a high note or anything like that.
That's true.
But it feels like the last character is going to be at least somebody that's a little bit more universally recognized.
Yeah.
It's why that's why it's a Terry spot. That's why I felt like that would be the Ryu Hayabusa spot if he was going to get in this pass. You want to end on a Resident Evil or something of that caliber.
Because people say that the Wii U's one sort of ended on a low note, which I can understand why. But there was also a reason it ended on Bayonetta, because she was the ballot pick. It was meant to be the high note. Because it was the one that fans all voted for, even if fans themselves are a bit suspicious about whether that's true or not. But we're not here to discuss that. If they were planning all 5 ahead of time, I feel like they probably would plan out the big character, a big character for number 5.
Yeah, and remember, this is likely going to be revealed at the Video Game Awards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if they're... I mean, they didn't plan out what characters are going to develop and when they're going to reveal them. Just to be like, well, we want to make sure that the one we reveal at the Video Game Awards is really hype. But I still think that they would want, if they're going to do a reveal then and not have done it at the last Direct, it's somebody that they think probably will play well to that crowd. So I feel like it's got to have more relevance, if it's going to be revealed at an event.
It's got to be popular.
I think so.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense to cap off the Fighter's Pass the same way it started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
With an echo of
if they go on and then you see a reveal trailer from Bonk's Adventure, it's not going to be gonna get.
That's the H in the Smash theory. It's Hudson. In that bonk in there. Oh, Mr. Higgins.
Master Higgins is a superior Hudson Soft rep, so that is true.
Is Frogger a Hudson Soft character, or is it a Konami
it's
character?
Konami.
It's
Konami
always
proper.
Konami, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm never sure what was actually made by Hudson nowadays, other than Bomberman, Bonk, and Adventure Island.
Those Momotaro games, right? That's what they're called.
Were they made by Hudson? Momotaro Densetsu?
Yes, those are Hudson Soft games. Bloody Roar. Bloody Roar is Hudson Soft too.
Okay, that's 5 games. Congratulations, Hudson Soft. All right. That's all of our pipe dream ones. So why don't we actually start thinking more realistically for a moment and talk about who we actually think we'll see from here. And I guess we will go in the same order that we went before.
Makes sense.
Spazzy, who you had Gex and Parappa as your dream picks.
Yeah, I snuck an extra one in there.
Snuck an extra one in, cheated us all. But who would you think your actual?
Well, I am going to have certain
is?
First of all, there are going to be certain rumors and things of that nature that will factor in, even if I'm not going to talk about it here, into what I think. But just thinking about it, I really think I've always thought that all the theories that Smash fans are out there are pretty ridiculous and don't matter, especially costume theory. I'm all like, whatever, they can release Mii's whenever they want. But the fact that we have not seen any of the Namco, there's 3 Namco Mii costumes. And we know at least 2 of them are coming back. We know Lloyd and Heihachi are both coming back because they're popular and I'm sure they sold well. Then there's negotiating rights are probably not much of an issue because Namco is developing this game.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's got to be a Bandai Namco character. But this is where I'm not sure where to go for this. Because we just got a fighting game character, right?
Yeah.
So are we really going to get Heihachi or a Tekken rep? And then the other thing is, or Soul Calibur, but that falls kind of in the middle. But so you have that on one hand, and on the other hand, you have the Tales of games, which are huge. But we had 2 JRPG protagonists here, so I'm actually going to say Dark Souls character. I feel like that's a really, really big franchise right now. It's relevant. It's from Namco. You can do a lot of neat stuff with it, and it's not too similar to other things that are already in this pass. Because, a Tales of Character is going to be a little close to Hero, and Heihachi is going to be a little bit close. I mean, they'll obviously play very differently, especially Heihachi and Terry, but he's still kind of close to that archetype. So yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Would anyone particular from Dark Souls, like Solaire or I don't know any others, to be honest. Solaire.
I guess the player character, like the Chosen Undead, right? That's what they're called, I believe. Yeah, that's what I would go with.
Okay. Oh, neat. Yeah, I mean, Dark Souls. I mean, Dark Souls is an interesting one. I've seen it. It popped up a few times. I feel like as DLC started and then kind of just dwindled out as a lot of the bigger names took over. Because it got its own amiibo as well. Solaire did.
Yeah. That's
true. I mean,
it is a popular one that I think would appeal with Western audiences. Like that's the thing I was thinking with the Game Awards.
Exactly.
Like. Yeah, it's aimed at a more Western audience, even if they celebrate all games. And while Joker is obviously, Persona's very Japanesey series, it's also really big over here. Persona 5 was, so that one made sense to work to show off there. Then again,
right, and I think like Heihachi would play well to that crowd, or any Tekken character, because he is my preferred one. Because I think he's got the Devil G and stuff. I just think he's a better choice, but would play well. But yeah, like it just thinking about what we haven't gotten. We haven't gotten those Mii costumes yet. And you could have put out Lloyd with Hero to make it a JRPG thing, or you could have put out Gilgamesh literally wherever. You could have put Heihachi out there. But so without those, I feel like Bandai Namco's kind of due. I think it's logical. And the Chosen Undead, I think that makes more sense with what we already have.
Maybe Kos-mos really isn't as much of a pipe dream as I thought.
Kos-mos was my other one there too. Yeah, Kos-mos was definitely, it was between Xenosaga and Dark Souls when I was thinking about it. Oh, man. Because the Prince of all Kos-mos is already in Pac-Man's taunt, if not definitely Giant Katamari.
Oh no, but it's in Hiachi's also in Pac-Man's taunt, so
that's true. That's true.
That's true.
That's why I wish Smash would. I wish Smash would just have stages for third parties because
it does.
Katamari would be such a great stage.
Oh right,
that would be great.
Anyways,
yeah. Well, you actually make a really good point there, Spazzy. But
that's true.
Alas, my pick is already chosen. What about you, Cody?
I'm gonna have to go in on the rumor hype train, but for good reason. So I theorized in I think an earlier discussion we had, I don't remember which one it was, that a lot of the picks we've been getting are related to the games that were first on the Switch, and a lot of the companies that had good relationships with Nintendo, good enough for them to have games on the Switch that early. And one of those companies was Bethesda, and they had Skyrim on the Switch. That was in the first trailer for the Switch, even. And I think that does relate to talks of Smash, and I think Bethesda did talk about characters in Smash too. I've got to say, I think it's going to be. I also think another reason too was because of Sakurai talked about in another article, an older article that was translated on our site, that Doom had an important legacy in the gaming industry. And I think, so because Sakurai recognizes that legacy and because Bethesda has a decent relationship with the Switch right now, it would make a lot of sense to go with Doom Marine, Doom Guy, the main character of the Doom series. Especially
Doom Guy or Doom Slayer, I think.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know what they'll call him, honestly.
The guy trying to avenge his pet rabbit.
That guy. Yeah. Rabbit Avenger. So, I also think Doom Eternal factors into the release of this too, and that kind of, since it lines up so well, I don't think it's an accident that Doom Eternal was releasing around the time the pass is ending too. So, with all that in mind, I think my fifth pick would probably be the Doom Guy.
Nice, and glad that someone said it. It wasn't. I was flip flopping about whether it was going to be my choice or not, but I've decided on someone else. But Doomguy is a really popular pick right now amongst the community.
I don't particularly like or dislike him, but I can definitely see the importance of having a character like that, especially one from a Western developer and one that's from a very different kind of game than most other characters, especially in the Fighter's Pass. So I think it would be a good pick.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So, alright, what about you then, ShadowLink? What is your pick that you feel is most likely?
I got 3, but I'm gonna do the big one first. The big one, the one anyone familiar with my content could see coming a mile away. I'm thinking Dante from Devil May Cry. Okay. So there are a few reasons that I think Dante might actually be likely for Fighter Pass 5. Number 1, Devil May Cry 5 this year, smash hit. Capcom promoted the hell out of it. They could have requested some help promoting that from Nintendo, and Capcom has really good relations with Nintendo. In the same way that Joker promotes nothing on the Nintendo Switch, but Persona 5 on another system, Dante could be the same. And also, there was an interview earlier this year where they asked Hideaki Itsuno, who is the series headrunner. He runs the series. He's run it since Devil May Cry 2. Where he said, I don't know about Dante and Smash. I would think we would have to get Devil May Cry on the Switch first. And then, less than a month later, Devil May Cry was on the Switch. That is very, very...
It's pretty suspicious.
Suspicious timing. And, Hideaki Itsuno has been a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge with some of his stuff before in the past. Because... For the longest time, between 2015 and before E3 2018, he was heavily hinting that he was working on Devil May Cry 5, and it happened. So if he was hinting at something else, it's possible. I also think that it makes a lot of sense considering the history of Devil May Cry and how it's affected action games and how it's how it influences games to this day, including Bayonetta, who is already in Smash.
Well, we're ending on Bayonetta and then ending on Dante for
I hope
the two fight fast.
It's
big
a shame.
Character.
It's a shame that they're going to be supporting the game after Fighter Pass, after the 5th character in the Fighter Pass, because if they left Smash Ultimate in the same broken state that Smash Wii U and 3DS were in, with Dante subbing in for Bayonetta, that'd be so fucking funny.
Just history repeats itself.
Yeah.
Never learn from your mistakes.
Another one. Just one.
All right, just one.
Okay.
I won't say the third one because it's a Fire Emblem character. So I think Shin Megami Tensei is possible. Because we have Shin Megami Tensei 5 coming exclusively to the Nintendo Switch sometime, probably next year. It's been in development for 2, possibly 3 years now. So release next year seems likely. And Joker came with no Megami Tensei content whatsoever aside from 1 or 2 moves. So he's not representing Megami Tensei at all, despite what Reggie Fils-Aimé may have said. So, promoting Shin Megami Tensei 5 in the same way that Nintendo promoted Dragon Quest 11 coming to Switch in the West with a Smash character makes a lot of sense. So, the protagonist from that game, from Shin Megami Tensei 5, which we do not know who it is yet, but presumably they will be like most of the other ones. would be like the playable character. And maybe it could also be like a Dragon Quest situation where they pick 4 protagonists from the series, which is like totally possible because they all have kind of the same kit. They summon demons, they have a sword, they have a gun, and that's about it. There's like it's a
I don't
thing.
know about all
I don't
that.
know. Yeah.
It's a concept that writes itself. For example, there's a Dream Smasher for the Shin Megami Tensei 4 protagonist available on sourcegaming.info. Just Google Dream Smasher Flynn and you'll find it. I hear it was written by a very smart and handsome man.
You know,
I don't
if
remember
you were
writing that
saying
one.
if you were saying that this if you're saying that this character was going to get in as part of another Fighter's Pass or later down the road, maybe I can't see another Atlas character from a series that's so
Yeah.
similar.
Like,
it's
I feel like this is definitely this feels more of a pipe dream pick to me than. I mean, just thinking
maybe-
Shin Megami Tensei 5 will come out next year sounds like a pipe dream.
Yeah,
thing to me.
maybe it'll release when it comes out during
Sorry.
Fighter Pass 3.
I mean, I wanted to bring this up because it's a very likely possibility later down the line, and I'm cheating here.
Yes.
But in all reality, the fifth fighter is going to be Dimitri from Fire Emblem.
Oh wow! If that actually happened, the fan base would implode.
I like to
Yeah.
see the world burn.
Well, let's move on to something a bit more light-hearted from me than the fan base imploding in on itself into a vortex of salt. But I was very actually back and forth on this one. Because originally I was all priming myself up to go with Alv, Nadja from Puyo Puyo. Because I feel like she's had a lot of build-up and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Puyo Puyo is obviously big.
I think so too.
I think she fits, like, thematically she's different from the others being a puzzle rep. She is kind of an RPG character, but she's, like, more wholly a mage than Hero, who's more like a jack of all trades. And visually speaking, she's not, like, realistic human. She's not full-on anime style. She's not a animal mascot. So I think so I really do think Puyo Puyo would work quite well. However, when we were talking about it earlier and about leaving it for Fighter Pass number 5 and having a character that might appeal to the Game Awards crowd and to a more universal market, my actual thoughts towards Al started to slowly simmer down. Like, maybe she won't. I feel like she still has a really good shot of getting in, but in a similar state to Gino, who I think is a character who will get in, but not as Fighter 5. I think she may be held off for additional stuff. Who I do think has a chance, however, of getting in as Fighter 5 is a Resident Evil character. I feel like of all the series that cross different genres that aren't in Smash yet, like, we don't have anything from horror, and Resident Evil's like one of the biggest gaming franchises out there. It's from Capcom, like you were saying, has a good relationship with Nintendo. Just like Devil May Cry, they've been bringing all the Resident Evils over. We got 1, we got 0, we got 5 and 6 just recently. We've got 4 as well.
1 and 2.
Revelations 1 and 2 were early Switch titles, so that also fits with what you were saying, Cody. Like, the only thing missing really is a new Resident Evil. We didn't get either 7 or the 2 remake.
We did get 7.
But
We did get 7.
we got a cloud
We got
version.
7 Cloud Edition.
Japan got a watered down version of 7. But I feel like Resident Evil is a franchise that really should have something in Smash, and the more I sit back and think about it, like, Capcom doesn't have anything through this DLC yet, and I think it would really make sense to have one. I don't know who they would go for. So Leon was always the choice, because he's like the closest to associate with Nintendo. He's popular. Resident Evil 4 is obviously a big game. 2 is a big game. But I also feel like Jill is more likely because she's also, like, she's more popular than Leon. She's one of the original characters. No, she is actually more popular than Leon. I used to think Leon was the most popular one. He's actually second, according to the latest Resident Evil poll.
Really?
They did. Yep.
Huh.
So
amongst the actual Resident Evil fan, I think it's amongst the actual Resident Evil fan base too.
Yeah.
Remember, these are the fan base, people that consider themselves fans of like the series.
Oh,
have been playing it a long time.
Jill's in the movies. That's why.
yeah, that is it. Leon was only in one of the movies, but Jill was in at least 3.
I mean, yeah, Capcom doesn't have a character. Resident Evil sold 92 million units.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and there are. It's the only like third parties that are in Smash right now that sold more than Resident Evil are Final Fantasy and Sonic the Hedgehog. Mm-hmm. Like it's a giant franchise.
Huge. It's got movies. It's got spin-off. Like I think it's got some comics here and there. It's got obviously games. They do big like publicity stunts for it. It's got a lot of popular characters and it's got a lot of popular choices that you could have in Smash. Jill and Leon seem like the 2 top ones, but then Chris is also equally as likely being basically the Marth of the series.
Wesker the boulder punch
would be definitely have one of the most unique movesets.
Final Smash boulder punch.
Yeah. And then Nemesis from Resident Evil 3 I think would be a perfect way to represent the monsters of the Resident Evil series.
They used Nemesis in Marvel vs. Capcom as early as the second game, right?
Yep.
I think so.
Like there's definitely maybe I mean the second game also had Jill Valentine and
Jill was the first
Resident Evil 3
one
was obviously
ever
big at that.
represented in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, it was Jill, and then they did Chris, Wesker, and Jill because Resident Evil 5 was the big thing at that moment.
Yeah.
Because it's all their Resident Evil 5 designs. Like, there's really is arguments for all of them. Leon's obviously really relevant right now. Jill's obviously always really been popular and is in more games and stuff.
Jex, real quick. Jill also... So they're almost definitely remastering Resident Evil 3 right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
Which stars
is also
Jill.
Jill, yeah. And
so she's going to be super relevant very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
And so there's also that. So it feels like a Resident Evil character is very likely to happen, and the only thing I could really see getting in the way of it is if for some reason they couldn't come up with a fun moveset for it. But I mean, like you said at the beginning, I trust Sakurai and his team to... Yeah, well, yeah, you did in the all content stuff, but I'm talking about Sakurai and his lot. But to be honest, if we can do it, they can definitely do it. So
there's also the thing...
professional game designers and all.
There's the Capcom card game, Tekken.
Tekken.
And Jill Valentine recently got added to it in her Resident Evil 3 design.
Yeah.
And so of all the designs they picked, it's that one, which is kind of suspicious.
Right, which is almost exactly what happened with the Castlevania mobile game, which they announced during Smash Ultimate development, and all of a sudden Simon Belmont went back to his classic design, even though they hadn't used it for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. And if Jill does get into Smash, I mean, she'd definitely have both her classic first design and the third one, because I feel like Resident Evil 3 design is the most popular design for her. I feel like the tier list is something like 3, Revelations 1, and then 5.
I think 1's more popular than Revelations.
You think? Because I haven't
original.
Really. It is the original. That is true, but it's also
and that's the one that's also in Marvel vs. Capcom.
That is true. That is true, but it also the Resident Evil Revelations one is the one they've been using a lot for in a lot of her more recent appearances. They haven't used the Resident Evil 1 design since Resident Evil 1 and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Whereas
and the Resident Evil 1 remake.
Well, yeah, but yeah. Anyway, Resident Evil. That's my choice. I think that would really go off well. That would end it with a bang. I think there could be some cool stuff done with it, and I'm leaning more towards Jill than Leon personally.
So, guys, just real quick because I was thinking about this. We were talking about how Resident Evil has movies. You know what franchise has resonates a lot with Western gamers? Has sold actually about, I think, 50 million units more than Resident Evil's already impressive 92 million. And also has a movie. Assassin's Creed. I'm just saying that. Just throwing that out there. Putting that in the ether.
Assassin's Creed
I mean,
3 was one of the only third-party AAA games on the Wii U.
hey,
That was the deal they made. Listen, we're going to support the Wii U.
they
They were
also
there
put
with
Black
Nintendo
they put
when
Black
nobody
Flag
else
on the
was.
Wii U.
They put Watch Dogs on the Wii U when nobody else would release a game.
I guess Ezio's time to sneak in.
That'd be
The
so funny.
Joker
Oh my
broke
God,
into
that'd
the
be
Game
so
Awards
funny.
last.
That'd
Joker
be
broke
so
into the Game
fucking
Awards
funny.
last year to steal the invite. It's Ezio's turn.
That'd be so
You
fucking
see Joker
funny.
holding. Wait, you see Joker just holding up the invite, like from the trailer, and then you see Ezio sneak in and assassinate him because that's what he does.
It'd be so fucking funny.
A white thing
if,
comes in front, and then Ezio just stands up.
It'd be so funny if Ubisoft finally got into Smash Brothers with the playable fighter, and it was just some guy from Assassin's Creed instead of Rayman.
Hey, some guy. I mean, Ezio,
I think-
man.
I think actually the best
Ezio-
choice is the Rabbids version of an Assassin's Creed character. Just Rabbid Assassin.
Ezio's like a really popular character, but at the same time, like, you can't tell them apart when they're all wearing the same cloak.
I got it. No, Spazzy, I got it. You have a trailer exactly like the Banjo-Kazooie and King K. Rool one, where they're looking outside the window and it's building up, and you think it's Ezio, and then it's just the rabid version of Ezio. But then it doesn't. But then the real one never appears, and it's just,
It's just Rabbid.
the reverse bait and switch.
We call that the bait and bait. Ooh. All right.
But yeah. I think, yeah. To be fair, it is possible. I'm not going to deny that. I actually think an Assassin would be cool, and it's definitely a series that's deserved. It would definitely make the Rayman fans very angry, though.
Oh, it would.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Very much. But alright, guys. Thanks for coming on for this to chat about who we think is going to be the Fighter Pass character. I feel like we will find out at the Game Awards, and if not, there must be a December Direct, because I definitely think we're finding out before January hits. I mean, the character could arrive as early as January. They gave themselves February 2020 as a deadline, but that doesn't mean it needs to be February 2020, right? So, and like Terry's been really early November. They said fall for Banjo, and he was early September. So they're definitely hitting the very like as early as possible with these. And now with more DLC coming out as well, I feel like it would be good to get the Fighter Pass over with and then start getting the next ones out. So Game Awards is definitely where I think we're going to see this, which means our predictions we're going to find out very soon how wrong we all are. And it's going to be it's going to be great.
If the fifth character is from Fire Emblem, I'm gonna upload a 1-minute video of me laughing onto Twitter.
I'm surprised, I know you mentioned Fire Emblem, and Cody, you mentioned the Rhythm Heaven character for your Pipe Dream, but all the rest were obviously third party, and I guess that is. Do we all think, realistically speaking, it's probably a third party character?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That seems to be the pattern this
The
patch
only-
is following.
The only thing that I could see as maybe being a first party thing that they would do is Pokemon from the new games from Sword and Shield.
Oh
You think a
boy.
Pokemon?
Because well, yeah, because they were obviously planning on this before, kind of the backlash to that game kept building and building. First of all, so you have a series that it would advertise Pokemon or get people more excited for it because there's a character in there. It's already a huge franchise, so it's bigger than any third party really that they're going to get. So it'll sell really well because it's a big franchise, and it'll be advertising a new game that Nintendo's doing. So I could see logically that being something they would do. I don't know if they would. I'm leaning towards third party, but if we do get a first party, that's what I think it would be.
So here's my counter argument to that. I think the reason they were going for mostly third party or all third party is because they were looking to get new series in to Smash Brothers. I mean, Sakurai seemed to state nearly as much himself, which means if we do get a first party, the only one I could conceivably see happening is
Astral Chain?
Astral Chain, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Because
Sorry,
it was,
ShadowLink.
it did well enough. They were building it up quite a bit, and I'm surprised we didn't get any Astral Chain stuff when it came out. Like
It was
other
really
games
weird
and all that.
because we got like spirits for Daemon Ex Machina, which is
Yeah.
not even a Nintendo property, but we didn't get any for Astral Chain or Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yeah, Fire Emblem was also a weird one. I'm surprised we didn't get at least just like
Yeah.
Baelith and Sothis or something, or the 3 house leaders. Which also means that maybe,
Yeah,
but I feel like I don't know, that could also be
Yeah.
like additional DLC.
yeah, that
'Cause that's the thing.
I'm
standalone.
thinking that if Fire Emblem is not Character 5, we are most likely going to see Dimitri, because he's by far the most popular character.
That's true. That's
Maybe.
Possibly,
true. He would be very unique with the spear, unless they had Pandemity. In which case, Dimitri is just his chances are gone.
Or he can come in as an echo. They just flip the dimensions a little bit.
just turn Ike's sword into a spear.
Perfect. But thank you everybody for listening to our discussion on who we think the 5th fighter is going to be. Let me know in the comments down below who you want the character to be and who you expect it to be. Did you agree with any of our choices? Do you have any issues with any of our choices? Just let us all know and we can have a nice friendly conversation about it. So if you really want to support us, obviously like, subscribe, share this around. That all goes to help. But that extra step is obviously the Patreon, where you can make translation requests, you can get exclusive looks into early stuff. We release some of our exclusive assets there, like all these emblems that you see in the background. Those are going on the Patreon. And we're also running some Patreon-specific polls and streams that you can be a part of if you join. So some nice little incentives there for you all. And thank you all for listening. We don't have long to find out for number 5 is, so fingers crossed it's whoever we want it to be. Thank you, and always remember to return to the source.
Guys, I was joking, but I just remembered that when Dimitri holds a spear in Fire Emblem Three Houses, his stance is almost identical to Ike's. Oh no!
I don't know. I like the bandana
But yeah.
Wallaby Echo.
Yeah. Oh. All right, hold on. I'm gonna do that outro again. I'm gonna add that as an outtake at the end.
Okay.
All right.